Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makura. Today we're talking about a very interesting method of understanding how to quickly empty your mind in order to manifest, okay? Now, I call this the blank slate method because it's a very powerful method in explaining the flow state and the synchronicities that start to happen once you recognize that you might be a lower mirror interacting with a higher mirror and so forth, okay? So in your reality, you're going to magnetize the types of people and situations that reflect your state of vibration from within you, okay? And so these projections, in a sense, this movie projectors of people in your life, including me, you manifested me as well through your reality because you're on this channel and you're intentionally, consciously choosing to watch these videos, right? So it's important to understand that law of attraction, what they say, is not this like, just write it down, just believe in yourself, they're these little just cliche sayings. I understand that cliches are cliches for a reason, like have gratitude, of course, we all know that, right? I don't think there's anyone that disagrees with that stuff. But I think it's missing in a type of personality, a musicality, an energy behind the manifestation itself, okay? And this is what we want to understand. Is the energy pure? Is the intent pure? Is there a higher form of something that you feel like is coming through? All is accepted, all is transmuted into bliss. And the weird thing is, guys, I understood this actually by looking at an interview with an adult actress, okay? And she would respond to all of these answers in a very suggestive and sensual way. And I would start to understand that, wait a second, like, this is actually her. Like, this is not an act. Like, she's able to take any conversation and just make it suggestive, right? And the same way you could say that a person's frame really dictates their reality and their role that they're playing, right? Because we're all playing these different roles. And we get role strain when we're going, let's say, to work, and you're getting, a girl that you had a one-night stand with, like, call your phone at work, right? So that would be a role strain that's happening, right? You don't want to answer the call because if you get on the phone at work, you don't want to cause drama to the other coworkers and so forth, right? And so let's say you're a vegan and you go to a barbecue, let's say. That's a role strain, another example, okay? Let's say that you're a nerd and you have to hang around the popular kids for a group project or whatever. Role strain, okay? So the more role strain that you experience, the more trapped you will feel, the more your ego will cause a persona fatigue and just be like, I'm not that kind of a person. Yeah, he can do it, I can't. You'll start to create an in-group, out-group. You'll start to label yourself and others. And it's just not a good paradigm to be in. Once you become more conscious, basically what you're doing is you're opening up more energy channels, okay? You're opening up more meridians so that it can flow. There's one on Quadruple Integrity's channel for chi flow. I highly recommend that one for energy boosting purposes. And also you want to know where you're giving your energy and time into, right? I oftentimes keep my phone on silent or off, okay? Specifically because I got a lot of people reaching out to me, okay? Some people in regards to emergencies, some people in regards to, our sessions and so forth, notes for the session and emailing back and forth. So I know that if I think about that throughout the day, it's going to take me off of my trajectory, right? And I'm very, very devoted to my trajectory of my state of being and the state of mind that I'm generating. So this method of the blank slate, basically what you do is you let your consciousness fizzle out. So you shock yourself by doing something so drastic that you regain homeostasis again. Your body goes back to its natural state and you start to function differently. Let's say, for instance, you take a cold shower. Okay, the resistance that you feel in that moment and you overcoming that resistance gives you a power up, a mana boost, okay? You could call it, okay? Think of it like a video game. And then from that cold shower, you do some push-ups. And you just do push-ups till failure, okay? And then you have another mana boost. And then from there, maybe you do some stretching. You have another mana boost, but now it's kind of tempering down a little bit because you're stretching it out, right? And you're warming down. Then you do breath work until you start to lose your consciousness a little bit, right? You start to go, whoa, into that drifty state of almost passing out, right? And then you open your eyes out of a deep meditation or something like this, right? This is what I mean by blank slate, okay? You talk to every girl in the venue, okay? You just say hi to every single girl in the venue. You do it until your mind fizzles out, like it doesn't know what to do anymore, right? Now, this is very good to do if you're just kind of getting by and you're in a very rock bottom state, like you lost your work, you lost your job, you know, you lost your partner, in that state, these experiments are valid. It's very dangerous for you to do this technique all the time. But what I'd recommend is you do it in the moments when you feel like, okay, I need like a rebirth moment. I need a refresh. I need to reset. It could be a full moon. It could be some specific occasion. Or it could be a portal day. For us, we choose 11 and we create them as portal days. Like 29th is also a portal day because it adds up to 11. And yeah, just this idea is very, very powerful and very, very key. So on the 11th of the month and 29th of the month, we use as portal days to hop into, let's say, new timeline, avatar version of our character. Okay, something different about ourselves, some flaw that we're eradicating, some insecurity that we're overcoming and becoming secure about. Okay, there's always a progression upwards. Sometimes you need to get into these altered states of mind in order for you to magnetize. Okay? This is why people who are super drowsy and sleepy, whatever content they're consuming in that moment is almost being absorbed in that weird theta state that they're in, right? And so you are actually hypnotizing yourself as you're in that drowsy state, that sleepy state, either in the morning or right before sleep, right? So what you're doing then becomes really, really key, okay? What I do is I have my vision board out, okay? I have my vision board out and it's a mandala, and in the middle of the mandala I just have images stacking, okay? And again, it's like a big bank account number. I have like different images, right, of what I want, like different health, wealth, relationships, everything, okay? Thematically, things that I want in my subconscious mind to remind me that I'm on this path, working and journey, right? It's interesting, my mom was asking me the other day, what kind of girl do you want if I, find one for you or whatever? And I was like, he has to be creative, he has to be playful and nurturing, and she's got to have some level of spirituality, like soul candy about her, right? And then I said something about fairies, right? And my mom was like, but talk about the real world, like don't give me like a weird mythical, that's weird, okay? Like my mom always shuts me down whenever I go into like an imagination portal, right? Or try to explain to her some spiritual concept, which is understandable, right? Not everybody's going to resonate with these ideas. But it's sad, man, because how I function is through my imagination and I live in my own world, and everybody else around me has been telling me, come back down to earth, okay, we need your help, come back down to earth. And I'm just there, just zenned out in my own world, in my own state. I enjoy being like that, It'd be nice to have some mirror reflections of me around me, kind of reminding me and allowing that to happen as well. Because I think ultimately vibe attracts tribe, right? So wherever you go, there you are, okay? And I think it's really, really key in understanding, like, okay, once I black out, what do I choose, right? Because a lot of people just black out drunk. Let's say you get blackout drunk one night, right? And you don't foster a positive vibe during that state. You wake up hungover and you just, you're in that dilapidated state, The next day, you haven't really manifested anything, okay? You haven't used chaos magic correctly. Okay, now let's say you go to like an isolation tank, right? And you're on a float tank somewhere. right? And before that float tank, you draw out a sigil to paste on the top of the float tank or something, right? And now you're just staring at a sigil for like 15 minutes. That's gonna probably help you manifest, okay? Because you're altering your state of mind and you're altering the images that you're perceiving through your reptile mind, okay? Your reptile mind is very, very powerful, okay? Your reptilian brain. It's the one that responds to the immediate threat or danger, okay? And that's recognized through what you can see, okay, in images. This is why optical illusions sometimes are a threat that we perceive, okay? Because we can't make sense of it. The moment you can't make sense of something in your brain, the moment the mind almost sees it as a warning sign, right? Like in the immune system, it would be like warning, warning, okay? Like bacteria entering or whatever, right? It would be able to like take that information, you know? And I don't think a lot of people understand how valuable their perspective really is, man. And people really can't use their intuition. They would much rather put it in the hands of somebody else, okay? And this is a sad fact that I've noticed in society, okay? Everybody wants everybody else to be the expert. They're never taking on that responsibility or doing it really for themselves, you know? And really using their intuition to flow their lives forward, right? And making it work at a very grand level, okay? But if we're overly concerned about so many things to do, how are we going to just be and live? If you have 100 different tasks in your mind right now, when are you going to breathe and rest? When are you charging the phone, in a sense? Are there moments when you're charging your phone, meaning energizing the self? And are there times where you're crushing it again? This is why I love the symbol of the Makara, right? A crocodile. By the way, we made a lot of crocodile Makara art using AI. It's very powerful for memes and so forth. But that energy of the crocodile, like it rests, and at the right moment, it snaps. If something is by the water, it knows that I have to charge up like a Super Saiyan and then attack. And actually, that's the animal code, guys, if you don't know, okay? The animal code is you rest, and at the right moments, you awaken. You become alive again, right? You start to cause this ripple effect, this pocket. And those are the moments where, you know, maybe you're blank slate, and then you're like, boom, you take a huge action step, and then you're like, back to neutrality. Oops, there goes gravity, right? So that's kind of how I want you to understand this thing. And there's many different nuances to this, but basically, you shut off your mind, okay? You're at a date, you don't know what to say, you're bumbling, you lost your trail of thought, you just go, boom, I'm alive for the first time, I'm a baby, right? And I'm experiencing the world again. I'm back, okay? I just time portal jumped. I was in a different universe, now I'm in a new one, boom. And once you make that little decision, right, you make that choice to timeline hop or just shift into a new reality, you're gonna get tested right after that. You're gonna get backlash right after that, which you have to counteract, okay? So let's say that in that moment, you become the tiger energy, okay? In that moment, you're on a date, you become the tiger's energy and you start taking on that form. She will notice you're shifting your energy as you're becoming a tiger, and she will make a comment about you to test you. She'll be like, "Ooh, tough guy," or she'll like try to tease you or test, are you really like that or are you just pretending, right? And so this is a very good indication because nature will call it out in you when you're being fake and not real, okay? Nature just understands survival, right? So as long as you're protecting yourself and you're benefiting your own survival, that's gonna keep you going. If you feel like you're cutting down your survival, you're going to shrink and you're gonna downward spiral plateau, okay? So as long as you're going on this journey, focused on taking care of what you're eating, how you're resting, how you're sleeping, what you're doing with your time, okay, to energize yourself, and moving the body, right? The word working out is wrong. It's not a work for me. Working out is completely me playing. You get what I mean? It's me playing. When you treat it like it's just play, okay? It's like, oh, as a kid I used to have Legos, now I just lift weights. Like, if you think about it like that, it's just a whole lot easier than thinking, what? Oh, I'm a gym buff, I'm a gym bro, oh, I have all of these. The moment you label it, guess what? You've taken yourself from a question mark into a full stop. And the moment you add a full stop to something, the flow state ends. The flow state ends. The story is over. Oh, okay, the audience is applauding. It's over. It's done. So what? Now what? Okay? Now what? Where are you going to take that? Okay? Oh, I got into this university. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Do you know what you're going to do next, right? They always test you right afterwards, right? It's like any single thing that you do that you're going to feel accomplished for, they're going to be like, oh, but have you tried that other thing though? Right? It'll always seem that way because that's the energy of the universe. You see? And it's always a mirror pointing back at you the different things that you're uncertain about. You see? My mom was pointing out to me the other day, she's like, you have everything that you want. You're good looking, you have a nice money, you know? And I was like, you know what? I think that's it. I think it's the fact that I have everything that I feel like I can take it easy. And that's why I choose to sleep on the floor. That's why I choose to push myself in all these different ways. Because I know I need that to build myself, okay? And when your own mother can point out your flaws, your insecurities, and so forth, so can the woman. Easily. Easily. She's like a sniper for your flaws. Do you know that? Do you know that she is a sniper for your flaws? However, that doesn't take away from your greatness. Do you know that too? Do you know that you have a lot of flaws perhaps, but that does not take away from your greatness, your strength, your responsibility, and who you are? Do you know that you get to decide your own self-worth and your own self-esteem and not somebody else, not based on how you are around them or, oh, I'm with a hot woman? Like, are you judging your self-esteem based on that? Because that's a really sad life, bro. I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna be honest. Like, are you just in this to get validation from her? Or do you guys have something real? This is the stuff that nobody talks about, and this is the stuff that I like to talk about because it's like, you know, otherwise, what are we really doing, okay? Are we running around in circles, like, trying to entertain and like, we stuck in entertainment land, or are we really taking responsibility for our lives as we see ourselves and our community change around us? It's like, whatever you do, someone has a problem with it, so you might as well just do what you do, you know? And if you admire them, like I said, if you admire their opinion, you listen to them as you move forward. Otherwise, continue to do what you've always done, which is crush it, okay? And try this technique out, okay? The moment you feel trapped, you feel, you know, nothing's working, whatever, you do something to completely shock the system. You go on a trip somewhere, you open up the most cringe video in the world, right? And you try to naturally ground to it. You go, whoa, what the? And you try to maintain calm throughout that, right? As that cringe video is happening. You notice your like eyes like twitching with anger, or you're like going like this in disgust, right? You'll notice your face change, but that's when you maintain that self-control. This is really, really key and important, guys, what I just told you. Because once you have that, you won't be easily moved by others. You won't be easily manipulated and whatever you want to use, like these words like gaslit, love bombed, right? You won't have all of those issues because you will remain firm in your decision making and your boundaries. Okay? I mean, there's got to be a point where politeness just becomes a wall and not really helpful, right? Like, politeness is great. Be kind to others, yes. But don't let it be this weird, like, wall that you're putting up to avoid confrontation or to avoid, like, talking to someone or making someone... Like, what is that, right? What is that delicate social art of, like, always maintaining social reputation in Indian cultures, right? What is that? That's so weird. Right? Like, imagine in the future if we could just have, like, a chill conversation with someone and just be like, hey, man, I'm chilling with a really cool uncle right now. And we could talk about aliens with 3 titties, right? And it'll be completely a normal conversation. It won't be weird or like, what are those guys talking about? Or that's immature, or it's just a normal conversation, right? And the thing is, the more we can try to figure out, like, there's too many people trying to build up their persona. You get that? But your personality creates your personal reality. You got to understand that. What if you were in control of your personality? What if it wasn't on some kind of type A, type B test that you got somewhere, but you were the one who imprinted it and you know that you had it within you? Because the traits within you, they're all a part of the other's collective unconscious too, right? Like, if somebody else did it in a different walk of life somewhere, you know that it's somewhat possible, okay? And so you go where nobody else goes. That's the pioneer. You go where nobody else goes, okay? The path less traveled, but it's the path of wisdom, okay? It's the path of understanding. I don't think you get it, man. You are Kundalini. You are that life force energy. You are that thunderbolt energy. By the way, guys, that is a sexual energy. Why do you think Zeus was so horny, bro? Okay? The thunderbolt Vajra energy that you're talking about, that's that tantric energy, guys. Okay? Electricity and magnetism, the feminine radiance, that magnetism, the allure, and the charisma of the electricity. This is what happens in male and female relationships, and this is what I choose to teach others, right? I had a couples counseling the other day. Everybody is polarity flipped. Everybody is so confused. And it's primarily, the sad thing is, it's primarily based on people's upbringing and trauma in their families, right? And what they observed, or different things about their own psyche which they might have kept hidden, or that there's so many other things, right? So many other reasons, but we have to get to the bottom of that by understanding, where do you stand right now? Where are you blocked? And what do you want? That's it. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Make sure you join our weekly channelings, weekly podcasts. Let's get it. You already know, we're here to win. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang. Us.